Hi guys, welcome back to another Craft Scraps takeover of the Auntie Tay YouTube channel. Today we are going to be making some painted signs using stencil film. So today a lot of the stuff I'm going to be using is from her winter mystery box. So I'm super excited. So we're going to be using the stencil film that came in this box and also the masking tape, transfer tape, also came in this box. I never used either of these until today and I was super happy with both of them. So super awesome. We're also going to be using some new glitter from Auntie Tay. Like, look how gorgeous that is. And we're also going to be using some of the Creative Sister chalked up paint, also from her website. And the images I'm using today I got from her as well. They are her week 1 March SVG files. They're super cute. I'm super excited to do this today, and I think that is pretty much it. Again, I'm Lauren from the Craft Scraps. If you want to check me out, all my social media is down below. I do craft tutorials, DIY, step-by-step instructions, lots of fun stuff. I'm super happy to be taking over again on the Auntie Tay YouTube channel today. So I think that's it. So let's get started. All right, so to start our sign, we want to find the image that we're going to use. So I'm going to go over here to upload because I'm going to use something that I have uploaded. So I'm going to be using this bundle right here that I got from Auntie Tay's website. So she has all of these SVGs or these images ready to go, super easy to use. So I'm actually going to be making 2 different signs here. So so what we're going to need to do is I'm just going to ungroup these, so then I can just delete the ones that I'm not going to use. So I can't decide if I want to do this one or this one. I think I will do I'll do this one. So I'm going to be making 2 different signs. So my nieces and my nephew, they share a room. So I'm going to be doing this one for the girls. So I'm going to do girl colors, or, you know, more feminine. And then this one I'll do for Cooper. So this one will be for him. So the sign that I'm going to use for this one is it's a little less than 10 inches by about 6. So I'll make this about, I think, 8 by like 4.5. And then the one that I'm going to be doing for this one, I believe, is about like 6.5 by, I think this should work. 7 by 7 should be good. Actually, I'll make it about 7 by 6. All right, so this is the great part about using these ready to go SVG files, is that is all we have to do, and now they're ready to cut. So we can come over here to make it. So we can see our mat right here. So I'm going to be doing this on 2 separate I'm going to be doing these on 2 separate signs, but it's all going to be cut with the same vinyl, so, or the same stencil film. So this is ready to go. So we'll hit continue, turn on my machine, and I'll select my Cricut device. So I'm going to be doing my maker today. All right, so the settings I'm going to use, so I just Googled it. I'm going to be using the Oramask the Oramask 813 stencil film. I actually have not used this before, and I just Googled it, and it said to cut it on vinyl with more pressure. So we will see how that works out for us. So we have our settings ready to go. I have more pressure here according to Google, and I think that's it. So I'll switch over to the camera so you can see what we're going to do next. Alright, so this is the stencil film I am going to use. I got this from Auntie Tay's winter box, I believe. So this is the Aura Mask 813 stencil film. I have not really used this, but a couple of things that I have realized is you need, before you use it, you need to give it some time to kind of loosen up. I don't know how else to say it. And I'll show you what happens if you just automatically start trying to put on your mat right when you get it out of the roll. This is what happens. So all I did, so this is the same exact stuff, but this one I unrolled way too quick, so it just started to buckle and bubble and is basically useless now. So what I did with this one is before I used it, so yesterday, I gently, very gently unrolled it, and I literally just set it over my Cricut like this, and I just like let it do its thing and kind of like relax and loosen up a little bit. So just a little FYI, if you are going to use this stencil film, I think it's a really great product. You just need, it's a little temperamental, so you just need to work with it a little bit. All right, so for this, we are going to use the blue light grip mat here. So I am just going to put this on my mat gently. All right, so now I have this on my mat, so I'm just scraping it down, and then I'm going to trim it. So I'm going to trim it. I definitely probably should have trimmed that before I put it on my mat, but it's fine. All right, so now we have our stencil film on our mat, so we can load our mat. And I'm just going to pull this out a little bit, and we can cut. Alright, so now that that is done cutting, we can unload our mat gently. So to unload the stencil film, I'm just going to bend my mat a little bit and just help it off because I just don't want it to bubble up too much. So I'm just bending my mat and kind of gently unloading it. Just careful you don't snap your mat in half. Alright, so we're done with our Cricut for now. So I'm going to split these into two stencils. Alright, so we have our first one, and then we have our second one here. Alright, so now I'm going to just weed this, and so I'm going to take out the letters because I'm going to be using this as a stencil on my signs over here. So I'm just going to weed this like I normally would with regular vinyl. This stencil vinyl is super easy to weed. I think I have tried to use this in the past and I did not let the stencil roll like loosen up, and so I ended up with a hot mess. So I think I finally have figured out the trick, and you just need to unroll it a little bit and just give it some time to kind of loosen up. So I think that is the trick. That makes me feel so happy that I freaking have figured that out. All right, so we're just weeding this out. Okay, this is... So my thought was the girls can put this on their side, and then the boy, my nephew, can put his sign by his little area. And like I said before, my nieces and my nephew really reap the benefits of crafting, because every time I want to do something, you know, I just make it for them. So it makes it super easy. So we got that one done. So now I'll do this one here. And again, I got all of these from Auntie Tay. These are her week 1 March SVG files. All this comes in a little bundle. So you can use my coupon code and get 10% off, or you can join her Patreon and I get like 20% off her shop, which is amazing because she has all this new glitter stuff, paint and vinyl and heat transfer. Like, she just has, it's like a one-stop kind of shop. All right, last thing we have here is this little mustache. Alrighty. Okay, so now we have our stencils ready to go. So the first one I'm going to do is this little chalkboard here. So I got this from Michael's. It was like 40% off and then 25% off with a coupon. So super easy to use. And so I'm gonna use this, paint on it, and then I'm gonna do hit the frame with some glitter, of course. All right, so now that we have our stencil ready to go, we are going to transfer this to our sign. So I'm using this masking tape, transfer tape. This is also from, so both of these things are from Auntie Tay's winter box. So I'm just gonna trim this. I just unrolled it, so it's a little unruly right now. So I'm just trimming this. All right. So all we're gonna do is we're going to peel the transfer tape from the carrier sheet. All right, so this is our transfer tape. So this side is sticky. So we're just gonna throw this down on our stencil. Scrape it down. All right, so now we are just going to peel this off. I like to kind of get the transfer tape started a little bit. And so I'm gonna flip this over because I feel like it's sometimes easier to transfer to the transfer tape if you flip it. So it's like reverse transferring. I don't know. It's probably not actually a thing, but Okay, so now we're gonna throw this on here. So I'm gonna make this as straight as I possibly can. All right, so now I'm just gonna scrape this down. I like to start in the middle and just like work my way down and out. I feel like that helps prevent bubbles. I think that's pretty straight. All right, so now that we have that scraped down, one more for good measure, because why not? So we can just peel. So I'm just peeling off the transfer tape. So now this is ready to go. So you can see our stencil film is on there. All right, so this is ready to go. So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to start painting this. So I think I'll probably use these two colors primarily. I might throw a little bit of this on here, but to me these are like super cute and girly. So these are both chalked up paint from the Creative Sister, all from Auntie Tay. I'm not sure if they have these colors stocked right now, but they have a bunch of other pretty colors stocked. So just going to this is actually kind of perfect because this is the color of their room, because my oldest niece got to choose the color. So so I think I'll just do the Kid Cave in mint, and then I'll do the rest in this like persimmon pink. So I'm gonna start with a light coat, because you can always go back and add more. I just think adding a light base coat first will help prevent bleeding. And I'm just using a stencil brush here. I got this at Home Depot, I believe. So I'm just gonna go in here and start painting. And I found that using these stencil brushes it makes a big difference, rather than using like a foam brush. I feel like, I mean, obviously they're called stencil brushes for a reason. They were meant for stencils. So, and then I'll use this one for the pink. So I personally like using these. So I know it looks a little scratchy right now, but I'll go back with a couple more layers once I finish up here. All right, so I'll let that first coat dry just a teeny bit. So now I'm gonna go in with this persimmon-y color, and I'm gonna do the skull and crossbones, and then I'll do the text down at the bottom too. You know, I tried to do this so now I'm gonna go down here and do this text. Again, I'm just doing kind of a lighter coat right now, and then I'll go back and do a couple more coats after this. Make sure it looks nice and solid. And this is chalk paint too, so it'll give it that kind of chalky finish. And I'll go in with the little, there's like these little squiggly lines here. I'll go in with this brush and do those. brush is a little big. All right, so now I'm gonna go back in with another layer. And also, I did not Mod Podge this beforehand. Mod Podging stencils for me has never worked. It always turns into a disaster. So I'm not going to Mod Podge this, but if you would prefer to, feel free. It just never pans out for me for some reason. Right, I'll go back in with another coat. All right, so go back over this all one more time, just for good measure, and then I will peel this. So I'm gonna peel this while it's still wet. I'm gonna peel it, get everything I can off of it, and then whatever does not peel up, I will go back and just weed it out. So I'm just peeling this. Oh my God, my watch is stuck on this hook. There we go. All right, so I can get rid of that now. Now I'm gonna go in with my weeding tool and get all this stuff out. Tweezers. So going back in and weeding, just be careful because remember your paint is still kind of wet, so it is vulnerable to smudging and all that stuff, and it can just make a huge freaking mess. So just be a little careful. Especially like going into this, like, see, but that's okay. I can just go back with a little paintbrush and do any touch-ups that I need to do. And honestly, sometimes, like, if you make a little mistake, 9 times out of 10, if you go back and try and fix it, you run the risk of just making it 20 times worse. So that's kind of the beauty of making handmade things, is they're not perfect. They're not, what's that word? They're not, you know, mass produced. So, you know, if you make a little bit of a mistake, or there's a little bit of an imperfection, you know, don't sweat it. So I'm just going back in here and just touching a little bit of this up. All right, so this part is done. So I'm gonna let this dry for a hot minute, and then I'm gonna go back and put some glitter on this. So we'll put that there. Okay, let's just, all right, so while that's drying, we can do this one for my nephew. All right, so I'm gonna go back in with the same transfer tape. Well, it's not the same piece, but it's the same material. So gonna do the same thing, just gonna peel this off. All right. All right, so apparently, you know, me and measuring, like, I'm not the best measurer, apparently, but we'll make this work. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing that I did earlier. I'm just gonna get it started up here. All right. Flip it, and I'm going to just weave. This masking transfer tape is pretty freaking amazing, actually. Wow, it's so easy. All right, so we're just gonna put this on here. All right, so I got it down in the middle, and I'm just gonna work my way out, and I really like this stencil film too, for not really ever using it. I really like it, and I really like this masking tape, transfer tape. This was all, again, in her winter box, I believe. And it's all on her website too. All right, so I need to, let's see. So I think for him, I'm gonna use this spring green color. And I wonder what this would look like if I mix these a little bit. I don't hate that too much, actually, so I'm not going to rinse my brush. So I think I will, let's see, how do I want to do this? Well, for sure I'm going to do the man in this color. So I'm just going over this. This is more of like a metal chalkboard. This one is more of like a traditional chalkboard. This one is like a metal texture, so it's going on super duper smooth. And I actually like mixing these colors. I think it looks kind of cool. All right, and then I think I'll do this teal. Just gonna dab that off a little bit, and I'm gonna go in with this teal. So I think I'm gonna do the little teal and the mustache and like this teal color. I got a little too much on my brush there. All right, and now I'll do the mustache down here. I'm also gonna do this teal. All right, so now I'm gonna go back with this spring green. Again, both of these all are that Creative Sister chalked up paint. And I did not clean my brush. I kind of like having the undertone of that teal with this spring green paint. I'm not mad at it. I like it. All right, I think I got enough on the mustache. I think this is good to go. So I think this is good to peel. I think I'll peel from the bottom. Also being careful when you start peeling, because now I have paint on this hand, so just being careful that you don't get any paint on your surface that you did not intend for. Okay, this is ripping very aggressively. All right. Let's go back. All right, and so I think the only thing I have to weed is this little guy right here. Whoop. Is that it, or did I miss another piece? I think that's good. So now I'm just gonna go in with a little Q-tip or a little cotton ball and get those little paint remnants. All right, so I'm just going to, this is just a damp cotton ball. I'm just getting the remnants off. And I'm just gonna go in and touch this up just a smidge. All right, so how cute is this little guy? So cute. This one's done, so I can move this to the side. I'm just gonna clean up my area a little bit, and then we're going to throw some glitter on this one. All right, so now I'm gonna put some glitter on this. So I think what I'm gonna do is, first of all, to spare my boyfriend, so I don't glitter the whole dang house, I'm just gonna put a piece of paper under that. And so first I'm just gonna start out with some Mod Podge. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this like section by section so I don't have to like rush through it. So I'm just brushing some Mod Podge. It's actually not Mod Podge, how I have been pronouncing it basically forever. It's Mod Podge. So it's news to me. All right, so I'm just going to put some Mod Podge on this. So I did this in like a YouTube, or not YouTube, on my Instagram, and everyone was like, why are you putting Mod Podge on it? What does that do? So basically this is the glue that is gonna keep our glitter on here. And the reason that we like Mod Podge instead of just glue is because it dries clear. So now I'm just going to dip this in my glitter. and just kind of dab it on with my brush. I like using a brush and not just like throwing it on here because I feel like I have a little more control with the brush. And I feel like dumping it on here is, I'm just gonna waste a ton. So, and again, this glitter is from Auntie Tay. She is like totally on her A game with the products right now. This paint and the glitter is just so, all of it is so perfect. All right. And I will go back, so just need a little more Mod Podge up here. And I am gonna go in and seal this, so my sister-in-law doesn't have glitter all over her house. So, all right, so how pretty does that look? And then we can go back and kind of dust off the chalkboard once we're done. So now I'm just gonna do that same thing, oops, with the other sides. All right, so last one, we're gonna do this one here. So I'm just gonna have to work around these little hooks. If you really wanted to, you could, you know, take the hardware off, but this isn't that serious to do, or I need to do that, I don't think. Honestly, because the more glitter, the better in my book. All right. And you can see pretty blatantly where you miss Mod Podge because like nothing will stick there, which I think is kind of cool. So you can really like go back in and that's also the good thing about glitter is it is really hard to screw up. So, all right, so how cute does that look? I'm obsessed with this glitter. Oh my God, okay. I'm not gonna put it on this bottom just to save a little bit of my sister-in-law's sanity so that she doesn't have glitter everywhere. All right, so I'm gonna close this before I spill it everywhere, and we basically have to burn our house down because once you spill glitter, it's like no turning back. So now I'm going to let this dry for a little bit, and then I will come back and seal it. And so really quick too, what I'm gonna, now that this paint is kind of dry, I'm just going back to get some of this excess glitter off, just so it doesn't look like a total glitter bomb. But if it has a little bit on it, I'm okay with that. If you are doing something like this with a frame and you want to protect the inside, all you need to do is probably put some like painter's tape or, you know, something like that. All right, so now all right, so to seal this, I put it in this box because I want to spray it inside and I don't want this sealant to go all over the place, but I wanted you guys to see what I'm doing. So I'm using this Mod Podge gloss. It's a clear acrylic sealer. So all we need to do is just says shake vigorously, spray. So I think we're good. I'm not really good with directions, honestly. But so now I'm just going to, okay, so I just did a little test. So now I'm just going to spray this. And my window is open and ventilated, so I'm not gonna, sorry. So hopefully I don't die. So I'm just going to spray this. And I'm just spraying, whew, that is potent. I'm just spraying the whole thing, so this whole thing will get sealed. Probably should have opened that window a little bit more. Okay, so this is all sprayed now. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and do these sides a little bit too, since they do also have glitter on them. And normally I would do this outside, you guys, but I want you to see this. So now you can see it's all nice and shiny, it's all sealed. So I'll also seal this one too, just for good measure. So again, using the same stuff, and I'm just going to So now we have our cute little signs using Auntie Tay's. So remember, all this is from Auntie Tay, the images, the glitter, the paint, everything. So super cute. All right, guys, so there you have it. We have our super cute little signs. I love all these colors, the glitter, everything. Obsessed. So remember, everything I used here today you can get from her site. Use my code, all lowercase, the craft scraps, to get 10% off, or join her Patreon and get 20% off and get access to a bunch of SVGs and images that she has. And I think that's it. So thank you again for letting me take over. And as always, happy crafting.